All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Connect with Carla B. Today, I'm spending some time sitting on a couch here at American Stage with a woman I admire and whose voice you will absolutely love. But I love her voice when whether she's doing poetry, if she's an MC at an event. Quite frankly, if you're standing next to her and she's talking to you, you're going to love her voice. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to a woman who is a creative in our community and who we're fortunate to have here. I'll tell you a little story about her later on, about how badly I wanted to ensure that she remained in our city. But before that, what I want to do is I want to ask her name, by the way, because I know you're like, who? Erica Sutherlin. And so I want to ask her to introduce herself the way she would have someone introduce her. Think about what are the important things that you would want someone to know about you, and then introduce yourself that way.
All right. I would love to be introduced as a filmmaker, a theatrical director, writer, and arts advocate.
Sister, daughter, friend, girlfriend.
I am all those things.
Yes.
I forget that I can label and define myself in those ways.
Yes.
I think sometimes I'm just in my artist world, and so I am learning how to, or not how to, but who am I outside of Erica the artist?
Yeah, I could tell you she is the embodiment of what we call Black girl magic. So you feel magic exuding from her regardless of what she touches. Whatever she touches is magic. Before I start going into the lanes that she has forged and carved, I want to ask the question you guys know that I ask, which is, do you remember, Erica Sutherlin, how we first connected?
Oh my, it's been so long, Carla. I've been sitting here thinking because you gave me the prep question. And all I can say, it has to be through 620.
So,
no?
So everybody knows I don't have the memory, but you don't remember? I remember, and then when I tell you, maybe this will trigger something else. So I think we first connected through a FI. Maybe.
Yes.
Right? Somehow.
Yes.
Like, or you knew him. I found out that you were at Gibbs. And I was like, my son is, and you looked at me and was like, yeah, you're like something about like how my face looked just like his or something. And you.
So I think we're both right.
Okay.
I think it all happened together, as in I have a strong feeling that 620 is involved in this some way. But I learned that you told me about your son.
Yes.
And I was like, oh yeah, you know. And then I became like the mom at school.
Yep, the school mom. the school mom.
Yeah.
For my 6'3" baby. They needed it.
Wasn't he 6'3" in high school?
He was. He was 6'3" in high school. And this black jazz guitarist that was still finding his way and still just wanted to be with the guitar, but there wasn't a lot of brown kids in that program, and there definitely wasn't, I think, other than you, any other leaders. So I was like, watch what, I'm gonna need you to look after this child, because he went there as a second-year student. He wasn't there the first year,
right? And he was in the music program.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. So, but I remember us like forming this almost immediate bond. And so if we think about it, I didn't have the art gallery then.
No.
Right? Nope.
But it wasn't too long after.
Okay.
You were in like your final separation or push from corporate America. I want to say if you were there for a year, because I know when I was talking to you, you were like in transition.
Okay. So then part of it could have been the advocacy for the Woodson Museum. It could have,
Yeah, you did. Maybe that's what it is.
My game night.
Okay, now it's coming back.
Were you doing anything with what was Cranston's event called?
Romantic Expression.
Romantic Expression.
Okay, now it's coming back. So it wasn't the studio. It wasn't the studio. It had to live. I remember your game nights.
Okay.
I don't know if I ever attended a game night, but I heard about them, and I think I may have heard about them through Cranston.
Yeah, the ultimate game night.
Ultimate game night. And I'm pretty sure I was possibly still, if you remember me as an artist, then I had to be still performing with Romantic
Expressions and Brian
Duncan. Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
That is further back than I thought.
Yeah, that is what we're gonna take you back all the way back.
I sit here and I'm always like, so how long have I been here?
A minute.
Yeah,
a minute.
But I make sure people know I left for 3 years.
You left, and I promise it was like Joseph and the multicolored coat. So I had this mudcloth coat that was like everything. And when Erica said she was leaving the area, she loved that coat. And I was like, girl, I'm going to give you this coat, but I fully expect that you will return. This is like a commitment that you're going to return to St. Pete when you're finished with yet your another degree. Don't let California suck you all the way in.
Yeah.
We're good enough for you. We need you. We need your energy here and your leadership, because brown girls need to see brown girls like you that has a presence that could open doors for others here. We can't always say, well, we're going to go where it's happening. We are the happening.
True.
So I am honored that you did return, because you weren't born here. Where were you born?
No, I was born in St. Louis, Missouri. I moved here in like 08, 09 from LA, actually.
Okay.
I was out there for about a year trying to get life right. Well, the year before, my brother had passed away.
Okay.
And I just needed to figure out how to survive without him being present. So I had told my mother one day, I was like, Mom. His name was Eric, so he named me Erica.
Oh, wow.
So I'm the baby of 7, but Eric is right above me, about 13 years older than me. And so I was like, Mom, I'm gonna go. I'm moving to Chicago. And she said, but you don't like the cold. I said,
you ain't lying.
You are so right. I'm moving to LA, and that's exactly how it happened the first time around. And when I tell you, I tried to pack everything in my car.
Wow.
I mean, I had these huge floor speakers that were from my brother. That's probably about 4 feet off. I tried to put them in my car. I tried to put everything in this car to drive across country.
And you learn
that you cannot. That you cannot.
You still need to be able to see out the window.
Right.
You got to see out these mirrors.
Yeah. So I was out there, and then I came here in 09. My sister used to live here.
That's what I'm going to ask. How did you pick St. Petersburg, Florida, of all places?
It was hilarious. I learned a lesson. So my sister lived here. She was a principal here at the school.
Okay.
And I had come to visit St. Pete because my sister was all freaked out about me living in LA. For some reason, she had this idea that people lived in LA died. Okay. So, and I was struggling. I had 2 jobs, no money. So she needed to see me. So I came here, and some guy, I don't remember his name, but he was driving me around, showing me the area. And honestly, all I saw was churches because I was like, it's a church everywhere, on every corner, in the middle of the block.
Yep. And
so he said to me, would you move here? And I said, I would never move to this town, da, 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 da. And he said, oh, okay. And 6 months later.
In that same car?
Well, yes, but we got that car shipped down here, so I was riding my sister's car, but unpacking my life in St. Pete. And I said, oh, God, I know now not to use the word never again. So I'm very cautious about that word.
Yeah, maturity will tell you the stories about never say never again.
Yes.
So we're sitting here at American Stage. I want to touch on the fact that you are a lifetime channel producer.
My director.
Yeah, director for a movie on Lifetime that had tremendous success.
It did. It was like their number one Christmas movie.
What?
For
better look that
what
up.
year am I in? 2023. So
yes,
2022 last Christmas.
Was it?
No, 2021. Yeah. So it was Kirk Franklin's A Gospel Christmas. It was the first. So it was the first installation. He has a second one on Lifetime. It's not titled the same thing, but it is Kirk Franklin Presents. Okay. So it's the first one. That was awesome. That was great. It was nice to have a gig right after grad school. Oh, you wanted to know, so I left, right? I went to grad school for 3 years, and you gave me this coat and said I had to come back. And in my mind,
remember you gave me the earrings?
Yes, I gave you the earrings. And in my mind, I was like, I'm not coming back here. I have escaped
the power of the mud cloth coat, y'all.
And the pandemic. And I was like, God, only a pandemic would have brought me back here, especially in the time that I came back. Right? I was in my last semester of graduating, so we went online. And I came back here, and I remember that Monday, I called my mentor who lives here, and I was like, hey, I got a little bit of money. I can stay in LA and blow through this real quickly, or I can take this money and stretch it out a little longer. And he was like, so where's your network? And I said, well, I'm gonna have to say it. My biggest network currently is in Florida. Yes. Because I spent so much time there. He's like, all right, well, I'll see you here. Call me when you get here. And that Monday, middle of the day, I had that call. And by Friday, I had given everything away. I turned in my car. I had 2 suitcases. Wow. And I was on a flight. Back here. I had nowhere to live. My friends, they let me live with them during the pandemic, which was beautiful. And I came back to St. Pete. Well, I actually was in Tampa for a year.
Yep, I remember that.
With 2 suitcases and myself and a laptop.
And then, since then, you're now at American Stage.
I'm now at American Stage.
We cannot overlook the award that you received. That was a year flag for First Lady in African American History.
Yes.
I thought that was pretty powerful. I'm glad I could be there to support you with
that. That was really cool. Now, I remember when you was complaining about not being able to sit at the table, and you found out why. So you had to be quiet.
I was like, in what world is my friend getting an award and I'm buying a ticket so I can sit with her? Do I not get to sit with her? But to have the honor of presenting that award to you it worked out how it was supposed to work out. Absolutely. Is what I'm gonna say about that. And then we just finished being in the park for
Ragtime.
Yes, Ragtime.
Yeah, that musical almost took my life. Yeah. I grew a lot as a human being through that process, as a director. And really, I felt like going through that process solidified me as a leader, really understanding leadership. The good, the bad, the in between, or the good, the ugly, however you want to look at it, just leadership and having to make decisions that people are not gonna like. You know it, but you have to stand in it, right? And it's uncomfortable and you don't like it, but you can see down the line, you can see down the road. That's my job, is to see that. And so And learning how to, when things start to attack you or people try to challenge your character, just allowing that to just like roll off.
So that shield, that armor, that so I gotta tap on that. We as Black women, oftentimes, I remember when I first started wearing makeup, like you see me on 99%, I'm not wearing makeup.
Right.
And I used to literally in New York, I would wear makeup on days where I wanted to have an extra shield. So I would say, nope, it's a layer between me and them, me and the rest of the world. So I would sometimes say, oh, it's to protect my skin from the elements. But really, it was that layer that I was putting on just so, because I am probably one of the most transparent people you'll ever meet. Ever.
We probably exist in that same category, so we can't be next to each other at a table.
Right. So basically, if you don't want to know, don't ask me. Let me start there. If you don't want to know, do not ask me.
It's very true about you. I will at least package it in a way that I hope is tactful.
Yeah, most people know that I don't have any ill intention. My intentions are not to harm or hurt anyone. But it's kind of like that philosophy of, if I'm walking out of the bathroom and the back of my skirt is stuffed in my panties, a friend would tell me.
Of course.
So that's how I view it's the things that I want to know. I would want to know. Don't let me embarrass myself somewhere. So tell me and let me figure out what I'm going to do with that information. I mean, that's how I am. And most people initially resist. Let's call it the Carla truth. And then they come back around and go, girl, thank you. Because it is clear, like, you have no other intention other than to ensure that we are all being lifted.
Yeah.
So I'm going to cover something else in a little bit, but what is, you always have multiple irons in the fire. Yeah. No different than me.
True.
No different than 99.9% of our Black women. But what irons are currently in the fire for you?
Well, the ones that I could talk about.
Fair.
So I have a bourbon coming out.
Oh yeah. Carla Bristol doesn't drink, mostly, pretty much. But I will be. I think you sip bourbon.
Yes.
So I will be sipping the bourbon. I will also make a peach cobbler with the bourbon.
Oh, lovely.
That could be paired with this experience.
I
will get it in, y'all. So this bourbon, when is it coming? Why have I been anxious about it ever since you told me earlier this year that it's coming?
I think it's really cool, right? To know someone or to be in the vicinity of someone creating a spirit, and it's your friend. Like, I think I get excited. I get more excited about the bourbon when I tell my friends about it and I listen to their response.
Yes, yeah, this is raw,
right? And I'm like, so next year, because it'll come out in the fall
of this year. Okay,
and so I'll start my tour, like my bourbon tour, like later the part of this year, next year. But I have Lee Davis like, oh yeah, I'm going.
Right.
Yeah, I'm like, well, I have to hit these festivals. Yeah, we going. I'm getting my tattoo.
Right.
I'm wearing my T-shirt.
What is the name of your bourbon?
Sinuous.
Sin, S-I-N?
Mm-hmm.
Sinuous.
Yeah, sinuous.
Sinuous.
Yeah.
So when I taste it, it's gonna be like,
and I love the logo for it.
Okay.
It's a blend of steampunk and Afrofuturism.
Okay. So it's some bad ass.
Yeah, it's paying homage to the women in my family, the women of this world, just women in general, but women of color, just the things that women do and I don't want to say sacrifice, but this is what we do to maintain and to move through the world, beyond, with, through all of the obstacles, right? And that toughness. And people ask me, well, why do you want bourbon? Why?
Right.
And I say, well, bourbon reminds me of a Black woman. The coloring, the way it works on the tongue and the nose. It can be strong, it can be spicy, it can be smooth. I like a nice, smooth, even bourbon. And just that whole idea of Black female energy.
In a glass.
In a glass.
Why they always say bottle your essence. You done did it now. Let me be clear, y'all. If I bottled anything about my essence, it would be in a dessert. Let me just tell you. So if y'all want the dessert in a bottle, that's what y'all gonna get from me. But you also have that project that I just participated in.
Oh, I need to tell you too.
Oh, here we gonna find out now.
So I just put it on the books, August the 11th.
Okay, mark my calendar.
Yeah, I'll send it. I'll text it to you. We're gonna do the screening of it.
Okay, where?
And, at the studio. I locked in a date already.
Okay.
So it's gonna be, and you're gonna be on the panel and talk about things. Yes. So it'll be Friday evening on the 11th. I
was in rare form on that.
Oh yeah, you were.
This is one of those women, y'all, when she call you and say, hey, I'm working on a project, and this is how she says it. She goes, I'm working on a project, you're in it. Okay, what I gotta do? Just show up. All right, you got it. For a day. What? Girl, I don't got that kind of time. But guess what you do? You make that kind of time available, because you recognize that she don't just throw stuff together. She puts it together.
Yeah, I think the piece is we're in like the editing process still, and like the piece is one of the reasons why this piece has taken me so long, and I even talk about this on the night. It's because it is me, right? I've been trying to create this piece since grad school.
Oh, wow.
To talk about Black women and the obstacles and struggles I had. So I went to grad school as a non-traditional student. First of all, they lied to me. People were like, oh, when you go to grad school, they'll be like in their 30s. They've been living life a little bit, maybe late 20s, early 30s. I was like, okay. I could do that. Because, I'm 37. I'm going back to school. That's fine. They were 21.
You were in there with them.
The median age was 24. I was like, I am somebody's mother.
In here.
But that was difficult to navigate. And also, like, I graduated when I was 40, so 30s, going through that phase and not having anyone to talk to about what was happening. Like, my friends had always told me, my older friends, hey, Erica, when you get into your late 30s, you will see how the world views Black women. And I was like, all right. So I mentally prepared for it.
Right.
But getting in, like, going through it, I was taken aback. I really had to process through it. It was very lonely. I felt like I was invisible. Like, people were just moving through me.
Wow.
I found myself in school, like, I was not Erica at all in the weird. Like, I found myself raising my hand to preference that I wasn't upset, right? Like, I'm not upset. Or I'm not angry. I just want to say X, Y, Z because, we are Black women we are trapped in a stereotypes. Like, we've just caged.
Yes.
You don't even know us, and we're just caged in these stereotypes. And it was just taken me, and I wanted to talk about that, and I wanted to create something that spoke to that. And so I think I did. I think I created something that spoke to it. And I've had many different iterations of this idea, so I really like this idea because there's a dance component that you didn't see. Oh, it's beautiful.
Okay.
Woo! It's gorgeous.
So I'm going to be equally entertained.
Yeah.
Plus, I'll be entertained because it's one thing to shoot something. It's another thing for that creative director to put it all together and that vision to come through. And the fact that I think you have all those creative liberties with it, like you're saying, it will be your baby, done with not some folks that you hired, people you put together to have significance in your life in one way or another. Yeah. So I think that's beautiful. I definitely want to talk about briefly the fact that we know that you are the legacy planning appointed person for Studio at 620, and for what that has meant to our community and what it's meant to you. And for us, when you look around and you go, well, who could it be? Who would it be? Who should it be? And then to know, it's definitely confirming to know that it's you. So tell me what that feels like for you to fill those shoes and to be walking in your own shoe.
Well, I'm honored to have the blessing of Bob Devin Jones. I remember the day we had a conversation, and it was once I had come back from the pandemic and I got through my 6 months of depression. And no one knew I was here, and I decided to let some people know. I met with him and we were talking, and I asked him, I said, all right, so I know the time is coming for you to pass it on, so let me know, and I want to throw my name in the ring. And he was like, no need to throw the name, you're the one. And I was like, okay. He's like, it's already done.
Wow.
And I was honored by that, and like he says, you understand what the organization is supposed to be. And I do, and I have a heart for it. I have a deep love for it. Like, as a filmmaker, we talk about your passion project. Like, it's the film that you just have to make, you want to make, you don't care how much it costs. And I don't have one of those. Like, the studio is my passion project. Wow. And so it excites me. I mean, I would be remiss if I didn't say that I was, nervous, but joyfully nervous, right? Because I see the potential. I see the evolution. I see where it can go. I know if we have the right things in place, have the right support, like, we can really create a legacy there. We can take his dream, his seedling that he's grown to this moment, and grow it to something else. And continue to celebrate the community, right? All community.
Because this is the yes place.
Yes, the yes place.
And he made it so. Yeah. He made it so. I don't know anywhere else in our city that, that genuinely means that the answer is always yes. So don't ask, y'all. Don't ask if you don't expect to hear yes. Right. Because you will get a yes. So here's what I know. I know you and I could sit here on this couch and talk all day, because you see how laid back and easy it is for me and for you. So any closing thoughts from you?
Yeah, you know what? So I always like to leave my my events and saying to the people, as you move through this week, talk to someone you've never spoken to before. Perform one random act of kindness. And if we could continue to do those things every day, we can truly continue and change the world in which we live in, the way we want to live.
So if you didn't have any bits and bites to chew on this week, I am clear that Erica has just left you with something that you can chew on. And it's not unusual for her to have a mic drop moment, or to leave me speechless, but she done did it. I'll put information on how to contact and stay connected to her. but we are grateful to have her in our community, and I'm glad that I was able to expose you to our friendship and our connection that we have.